Alright, yo, here we go. Oh, let me turn the volume down. Right off the bat, very first shot, I'm going to complain about the controls. I'm going to do that a lot in this fucking video. Right there, I went to press L1 to fire. L1 doesn't make you fucking fire anymore. The controls on Battlefield 4 for the chopper are literally the most retarded thing that ever existed on planet Earth. Now, let me turn up my volume a little bit here. Now, you'll notice in this video as I'm flying around, you'll see me, and you see right there the first RPG out of my chopper to kill somebody, and you'll see one at the end of the video, and I just sponged an RPG. Although I'd like to see more of those, because RPGs rape the hell out of you. So, get ready to get shot by RPGs in the chopper. But, back to the controls. Like you can notice right there how I'm twitching up and down so severely. I've changed my controls to Veteran. On Veteran, they are the most similar to Battlefield 3. However, throttle is now R1 and L1 instead of R2 and L2, which obviously is genius because who needs to throttle at 63%? I want to throttle at 0 or 100 all the time. So, and here's a good example. I'm sure you're probably going to see me twitch up and down, and you see him do it too. You see the opponent twitching up and down as well because fucking throttle is not a pressure sensitive button anymore because, you know, Sony designed the controller for throttle to be on R1 and L1. Obviously, that's why the pressure sensitive buttons are below there. So that was a genius move. I assume by them to try to even the playing field to make it more difficult to kill people, but it's not. The players who are good are always going to be good. The cream is always going to rise to the top. So no matter how much other people bitch about getting owned in the chopper, it has nothing to do with the game or the controls. It's just players who are better than other players, and that's always going to exist. And DICE, you can never even the fucking playing field. It's not going to happen. So, and normally making this video, I'd like to press select and show the scoreboard so you guys can see how many kills I have in this video. And this video is a mashup of several videos. But you don't anymore. You press select and you get some dumbass friend battle log menu that's completely useless and doesn't need to be on a button. It could be in the menu just fine, and even then I'll probably never look at it. But anyway, back to the controls. There again, you see how I twitch up and down? That's because as I'm coming down, I hit the throttle and it makes me jerk up because I go from 0 to 100 on the throttle instantaneously. Even if I press R2 fast, it still isn't going to go from 0 to 100 in an instant like that. So it makes it really jittery trying to shoot people. Which is why, obviously, I recommend that you take your time to fire. Don't rush your shot, because if you let them know that you're shooting at them before you have a legitimate shot, like I did that guy, you know, they can run and dodge, and it's, you know, easy to try to run away once you know you're being shot at. So don't shoot. You know, you see somebody, take your time, line them up, shoot, they're dead. And as you can see, as has happened twice, being shot out of the chopper isn't all that difficult either. This one, oh, that's just a random shot. Anyway, and then on top of that, with the veteran controls, I know I'm kind of all over the place talking about controls and talking about this, but you know, watch the whole video. In veteran controls, your countermeasure is now down on the D-pad, and spot is R2. So now I have to try to throttle with R1, which I can't feather, so I constantly have to tap it. So I have to constantly tap R1 and constantly tap R2. So as you're watching this, grab your controller and sit there and try to tap R1 and R2 at the same time. And imagine doing that requiring finite control. It's goddamn near impossible. So basically you have to take your finger off of the throttle to be able to spot anything. On top of that, your countermeasure has now moved to down on the D-pad. So you have to take, you know, you have to take your finger off your yaw, which is your rear rotor. You have to take your finger off of the yaw in order to countermeasure. So if you're being locked onto by something, you have to take your finger off the flight controls to countermeasure. Even though it's just for a brief moment, it's still retarded regardless. You shouldn't have to remove your finger, your thumbs from the flight control to countermeasure. That's retarded. I mean, other than that, I mean, I can deal with that. The biggest issue for me is obviously the throttle is completely and utterly ridiculous, not being on R2 and L2. So then we go back to the default controls. In the default controls, your throttle is L3. Your yaw is also L3. So you have to try to throttle and control your rotor blade, your rear rotor, your yaw, with the same stick. So you're in the middle of a fight, you need to yaw over a little bit, you're going to invariably, you're going to hit the throttle accidentally because nobody can move their joystick straight up and down or straight left and right without getting some diagonal play in there. So if that were on a D-pad, it'd be okay, but on a joystick, it's utter retardation because you're never going to be able to yaw without throttling, and you're never going to be able to throttle without yawing. So having the two on the same fucking stick is absolutely retarded. And I didn't make a video of that, but because when I had that set up, I'd sit there, I'd be trying to shoot the thing, I'd go left and right and then up and down, and it was damn near impossible to shoot. So if you're looking for a controller setup, I recommend Veteran, even though it has its problems. You know, it's less fucked up than default. In default, it's complete retardation. You can't control your crosshairs with the sticks properly. You know, in this you can control your crosshairs with the sticks properly, but throttle is fucking garbage because, you know, you're 0 or 100. So obviously I recommend Veteran. As you can see, I'm able to get kills. In a couple games, I'm usually getting about 30 kills. I went 39 and 5, 29 and 2, 28 and 2, 27 and 4. So I'm usually averaging around 30 kills, and I got to 40 once with this ticket count. And right here, bang, all you do is ride in shotgun, boom, right there. Get it done. I'll make another video probably bitching more about controls later. Peace out.